Hi guys, Alberto here. Welcome to the Bedroom Rocker YouTube channel. I do guitar gear demos, reviews and tutorials, so if you like this kind of content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Today I'm going to make something a little different and I'm gonna talk about the amp that I think Fender is really missing in their lineup of tube amps. So I'm gonna go through their offerings and see what Marshall and Vox are offering in comparison and explain why I think Fender should really make a workhorse, affordable, black face line of amplifiers. So let's go. There are many great amp manufacturers and designs, but probably three of the most iconic ones are the Fender Blackface circuit, so the Princeton, the Deluxe Reverb, the Twin Reverb and the Super Reverb. Then on the other side of the Atlantic we have Vox making their AC style amps like the AC15 and the AC30, and Marshall making their early Plexi amps like the JTM45 and the 1959 Super Lead. So these are the predominant amps that were available in the studios and in the stages from the 60s throughout the 80s when guitar-oriented music was the mainstream. So they are very sought after, very iconic tones, and because of that I would expect these three manufacturers to offer them as reissues or as modern takes on them at different price points. And I think this is very true for Marshall and for Vox, and unfortunately not as true for Fender. For the price comparisons, I'm gonna use Thomann's website for Europe and the UK and Sweetwater for the US. As a reference, I'm gonna take the Fender Deluxe Reverb, which is often claimed to be the most recorded amp of all times. It is definitely one of the best sounding clean amps ever produced. It's a 112 combo with sort of a mid-scooped EQ curve, two 6v6 valves in the power section, so it outputs around 22 watts. This makes this a great studio amp, but also loud enough to gig with, and it's also got excellent spring reverb and tremolo. The most expensive and high-end Deluxe Reverb that you can get is the 1964 reissue. So this is a faithful recreation of the original. It is point-to-point hand-wired in the US, which explains the high price point of $2,500 or euros. The next step down is the 1965 Deluxe Reverb reissue. This is a production model, it's still made in the US, still true to the original, and I would say this is a workhorse amp, so you see it in many studios and also sometimes in stages. But at a price point at 1,500 euros or $1,100 is still not exactly an affordable amp. The next step down is the 68 Custom Deluxe Reverb, and this one is made in Mexico and it is part of their Vintage Modified series. So it's like a hot rodded twist to the original. It's got a Celestion speaker and a second channel with a basement tone stack. So it's a quite interesting modification, but it's still, in Europe it costs 1,200 euros and in the US it's only $50 cheaper than the American version. So I see this more as a different take on the original rather than a cheaper version. Then we get the new kid on the block, which is the Tone Master Deluxe Reverb. This is a digital modeler that attempts to faithfully recreate the sound of the original Deluxe Reverb. And I think they managed to do quite a good job, but what I don't really understand is this is a modeler that doesn't offer all the flexibility of other amp modelers, and it still costs as much as a tube amp. So I don't really understand the placement of this product, but if you like it, feel free to disagree with me and write down in the comment section below why you like yours. Fender does make more affordable workhorse amps, which is the Hot Rod Series, with the infamous Blues Junior and the Hot Rod Deluxe. These range from 600 to 900 euros or dollars, but they are not voiced after the blackface circuit. So they have quite a different mid-range character. They are also master volume or channel switching amps. They do not have tremolo, so they are more modern amplifiers. Then there are also the Bassbreaker series, which sounds awesome, but is voiced after the Fender Bassman and the Marshall Bluesbreaker. So in my opinion, Fender is really missing have a blackface era sounding amp in this price range between $600 to $900 or euros. If you're into Vox amps, the direct equivalent to the Deluxe Reverb would be the Vox AC15, and you can get one for as low as $600. These are made in China, but have a proven track of reliability on the road, stages and studio. They sound freaking awesome, and they have been one of the best-selling tube amps on the market since their release in 2005. If you want to go fancy and get a hand-wired UK version, in Europe you would spend around 1,000 to 1,200 euros, which is quite affordable for a hand-wired tube amp. In the US, I think because of import-export taxes, they are quite more expensive, but still at $1,400 to $1,600, depending on the speaker choice. They are still much more affordable than the hand-wired Deluxe Reverb at $2,500. Marshall is the one with the most offerings. If you want a vintage Marshall sound, you can go for the Origin series and get a 50-watt Marshall head for as low as $500. These are made in Vietnam. They are relatively new to the market, so they do not have the most extensive reliability track record, but they do an awesome job recreating vintage Marshall tones. If you want more modern features like channel switching, more gain, you can go for the DSL range, and the DSL has been on the market since ages. It's sort of the direct competitor of the Fender Hot Rod Series. The next step is the Studio Series, which is made in the UK and recreates three of Marshall's most iconic amps, which are the 1959 Super Lead Plexi, the JCM 800 and the Silver Jubilee. But they all have a 20-watt power section instead of the 50 and 100 watts of the originals. So they are still quite loud, very classy sounding, but way more manageable because of the lower wattage settings. These range from 8 to 900 euros in Europe, so they are really affordable for UK-made amps. In the US, they are a bit more expensive, so they go for around 1,300 US dollars. And then ultimately you can also get the hand-wired faithfully recreations of the original Marshalls, but my point is that you can get a vintage Marshall sound for as low as $500. In conclusion, I think Vox and Marshall are doing a much better job than Fender, offering their classic vintage tones in an affordable package. If you want a vintage sounding Vox or Marshall, you can get one for around $600 to $700, and if you want a vintage sounding Fender, you have to spend almost double that amount. So I think this is something that Fender really got wrong, and I think they should really think about offering some blackface era amps in this price range between $600 to $900. Even if they have to manufacture them in Asia, I mean, I think customers care less and less about where their amps are made, provided that they sound good and that they are reliable. And with proper quality control, you can make that. I mean, Vox, Marshall, and many other brands are making this. And I also think that a proper tube-based Deluxe Reverb at $700-800 would definitely sell more than a digital Deluxe Reverb at $900-1,000. But you may completely disagree with me. If that's the case, make sure to write in the comment section below and let's discuss about it. That's it for today. I hope this video was helpful and fun to watch. If that's the case, make sure to give it a big like. If you want to check any of the amps mentioned in the video, I'll leave affiliate links in the video description below. If you use them to buy stuff, we get a small commission that really helps to run the channel and gets more products to make more reviews at no additional cost for you. Keep on rocking and cheers!